Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese episode 403. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Mark Augustiniak.
Dude.
Matt Sellner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games, brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. It smells like E3. I don't know if you guys got that scent hitting over your way, but it sure does smell like Electronic 3, I tell you what.
Smells like smoking meats.
Yeah, the meat smell is very
That's
apparent.
what you're getting? We got some E3 stuff to talk about. We have a lot of news this week, so if you are tuning in to hear what did those fellas play this week, you'll still hear that, but there's a lot of news to talk about. Before we jump right into that, though, Matt, how are you doing this fine morning?
I'm doing swell.
Swell?
Here. I'm here.
What?
Uh-oh.
If you had to describe what's a synonym for swell that you might use also? Is there a synonym for swell?
I mean, I was using swell in the way of like a chipper. I guess. Oh, a chipper. That's a good one.
Chipper. Okay, look at you. You know the English language. Congratulations.
Ah, thank you.
Mark, would you say that you find yourself chipper?
Probably more chipmunk than chipper.
Okay, very good. Do you think that anyone has ever had a pet chipmunk? A. And B, do you think they've ever named it Scooby-Doo?
Are sugar gliders like part chipmunk?
No. They're
Okay.
Part sugar, part glider.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm sure someone would. Like, I've seen so many videos from the dodo where people just have weird pets. Somebody had like an all-black squirrel at one point. So
That's pretty sick.
I wouldn't be surprised about chipmunk. Name it Scooby-Doo. That would be pretty funny, but I'd also be a little concerned.
Well, I feel like kids are dumb, right? So kids would have like a rock and call it dad.
For some reason, I wasn't picturing a kid naming the chipmunk Scooby-Doo. I was picturing like a grown adult.
Yeah.
Yeah, what like Mr. Alvin, the owner of Alvin, him naming instead of Alvin Scooby-Doo.
That's the one.
Oh, is it the actor who played Earl? My name is Earl.
Jason. Why can't I think of his name?
Right?
Jason Lee.
Yeah.
Professional skateboarder Jason Lee.
Would you like a chocolate-covered pretzel?
Dude, I just watched My Name is Earl the other night. A little bit.
It's a good show.
Still holds up. Yeah, still holds up.
I love the ongoing theme of Time After Time with his brother.
Oh, it's such a good, yeah. So good. You know what else holds up? Game of the Year.
Oh?
It's time. I was going to name the game, but I'm going to keep it a surprise for just a couple more, like 30 more seconds for the listener. They don't even know what we're talking about yet. And what we're talking about is every year we come together to vote on Game of the Year, and we've done that as a trio for 5 years now. And every year we give runners up to a total of 5 games for Game of the Year. So now we have a nice little sweet pool of 25 games to talk about. And every week from here forward, we are sharing, or rather, we are going to rank the games of our Game of the Year history. This week, we're talking about Tetris Effect. 2018's Tetris Effect. Was that 2018? Must have been, right?
Yes.
This is developed by Enhance Games. They put out Res before this, or Res Infinite, I should say, specifically. What are your guys' thoughts about Tetris Effect?
Life experience.
Matt? Oh, Mark, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure, like, talking about that game previously was under a similar vibe of, like, coming back from a sabbatical. At least that's the impression I got from you two, at least.
Yeah, it definitely had that kind of, like
you went somewhere, you got handed the brochure, they wanted you to try the punch, you chugged the whole bowl,
I don't know why, but when you said brochure, I forgot that those were a thing, and I thought you were making up a word for a pamphlet that a bro would hand you if he wanted to try and get you to join his bro cult. So I'm thinking like a bro.
They are called pamphlets, aren't they? That would be.
They're also called brochures. You're not wrong. I'm just an idiot and forgot. Speaking of knowing English, I forgot that. No, I think like aptly named, the journey mode in that game does take you places. They do a great job of combining like world music and like themes from different cultures and backgrounds with different visual kind of skins to lay over the actual game of Tetris. And I'll quote our good friend Ben that year, who said, "Dude, it's Tetris." But it's so much more than just Tetris. And I think that's what made that game awesome is it is Tetris, right? And because you know Tetris, you kind of, I don't know, like you know what to expect, but then there's everything around it that just kind of surprises you and takes you somewhere else, right? It's like,
I mean, I almost think that the familiarity within Tetris enhances everything around it because you know how Tetris plays. You kind of know, you kind of have like, I don't know, not that everyone's strategy is good or anything like that, but you kind of have your approach on how you knock out the lines or how you play it, and you just use that approach and almost like mindlessly clear your lines, but just appreciate everything else, that the whole package around it.
Like
I think that's
to just add to that, I think there's like the word effect really holds up with this game. Like I think it really lives to that title because no matter how challenging it was becoming, in every way that you're interacting with this game, it always reminds you to kind of like to always take a breather. Like you can literally like pause the game as a feature to like keep connecting all those parts that you want to connect to clear it. They give you that time to do it while it's still being hectic. And you know, the atmosphere, the music, the visuals, everything has like that calming nature to it. Just to tell you it's okay.
Yeah, it did kind of make you feel like everything's going to be okay because I've got Tetris. So I guess the next question is, where does it rank? Would you say this is above Super Mario Odyssey?
Yes.
Maybe? Think so.
Matt?
Yes.
I agree.
I feel like
Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Ooh.
Now, this is gonna be interesting because we've come across our first time of the same year contenders. Do we flip?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm on the fence on that one. I could go either way.
I put it above Smash.
I think. I feel like I'm more like. I think that see, with me in Tetris, it doesn't necessarily matter which version of Tetris I'm playing. I kind of like most of them. So like I don't always have to like specifically play Effect, but Smash and the other way around. Like I specifically like that version of Smash, and I still come back to that one more than Tetris. Not to knock Tetris, but that's just how it is with me.
No, I agree. Like I still play that Smash a lot. Well, I don't know. These days I'm kind of playing Tetris just as much as I am Smash, but
I'm gonna say I come back to Tetris Effect more than Smash myself. I will say this is probably.
I just think as an overall like. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I think this is one of those things where like in 2018 it was lacking a major feature that has remedied itself last year with that big multiplayer expansion that was free, and I think that enhances the total package of effects now in a way that in 2018 it did not have.
does, but I also still like I played that with you guys, but that didn't necessarily bump it up the scale for me more than like I still just love. I will play through that journey mode over and over again, or just jump in and do the whatever. Like I love every Saturday, not every Saturday, I shouldn't say that, but there are a lot of Saturdays where as I settle into like, what am I going to do? I jump in because they have the weekly challenge still on Saturdays, and I'm like, I'm going to play through some of this for a bit.
Man, and they're such opposites, such polar opposites. Like Smash I feel is intense even when you're having fun. Like it's still intense. Tetris, it can be intense, but not to a level of like a fighting game. It's kind of more like I was just given that whole like Zen comparison, and like you can't do that with Smash.
Yeah, but like with Smash, I do enjoy going through the what do you call it? The classic modes and things like that, and just kind of toying around. Okay, well, let me ask this. I feel like it's above Smash, but do you guys feel like it's above Doom?
Yes.
So then it's our number one. Because I also feel like it's above Doom. Like I totally do put this over Doom 2016, I think. And by default, like the way we've talked about everything else, like I think Tetris might be the new number one.
Yeah.
How do we feel about that list?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I mean I'm okay with it.
All right, I'm locking it in.
Even like after all just like describing, it's still hard to like really put like the experience of Tetris into words. Like I don't think words do it justice sometimes.
Yeah, I mean it's a total experience thing too. And I mean this I only did, for a limited time, but when Mark, you had left your PlayStation VR over here for a little bit and I played it through VR, it was like, dude.
Yeah.
Like totally different, like immersive experience for sure.
And
that, it still stands up on its own, but that just added a lot to it.
Yeah. And like Matt said, like even now when they added the co-op, like that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I didn't play a lot of that, but I think that's a very cool mode where if you all were like, let's play Tetris, it's like all right, yeah, let's play that mode again because that was a lot of fun. And yeah, like, this is the first thing I play on my Xbox Series X because I was so freaking excited to play this in a crisp 4K. And I did the true experience of putting my headphones in as well.
This may have been one of the first, but I feel like the first was probably... Now I don't even remember. It may have been Near Replicant. Or something Sonic related, just for Matt. Yeah. All right, well, there's that. Of course, you can go to thefreecheese.com, and up top we've got we're tracking our game of the year as we go through it each week. Yeah, I'm excited to see how that shakes out. Next week we've got our 5th game, so we'll have a nice like round top 5, which will be exciting. Also exciting. June 12th, 3 p.m., Ubisoft, E3. Are you guys ready?
To, like, sleep through that one? Or?
Well, so Ubisoft announced it. We don't know what they're going to have, but let me ask, do you think we'll see more Far Cry 6? Of course, they just showed that off on Friday, but...
Yeah, because I watched that. It was only like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something like that, but they didn't like show gameplay, like a gameplay segment. I bet you see a gameplay segment there.
And then I assume we'll see some Rainbow Six Quarantine, if you remember that game. That was the Alien Invasion one, if I'm not mistaken.
I would like to see that, but I guess they're still invested in that. Rainbow Six, that is a totally different beast now than when I played that a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming they are still making that game.
Potentially. Are they still making Roller Champions?
I think.
You played that beta last year, didn't you, Matt?
I liked that game. There was a lot of the first beta there was a mechanic that I didn't like, but they addressed it in the second beta. It was like they needed like a rock paper scissors like thing for taking the ball away, like punching someone or whatever and dodging, and they added that stuff, and it was cool. And it just needs to come out now with all the stuff.
Maybe we'll get a nice shadow drop of that this year.
I could see that.
Yeah. How about Skull and Bones? Is that going to quietly just disappear forever, along with Beyond Good and Evil 2?
I think they said something about like they're reworking that from the ground up now. Like they're just
What's that, Skull and Bones?
Yeah. It's going to be a while.
Yeah. Dude, it's going to be hard to go against Sea of Thieves. Like, they had their opportunity when Sea of Thieves was what it was. It's hard to take that away now, because Sea of Thieves has kind of it almost in a way rebuilt itself to
I think it
people. The only thing they could do differently is if they had an approach to single player, like not having to have your friends around for the best experience. I think that is the only kind of gap that Sea of Thieves lacks right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know, but I also can see a future where we don't have this game, period.
Interesting. And Beyond Good and Evil 2. Is Joseph Gordon-Levitt going to show up to talk about this one a little bit?
I don't know why I thought I read about him like getting sued.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because of all that.
I know that people were pushing back against it. I feel like that was all done with the best intentions, but who am I? I don't know. I can see where it very easily gets thrown into a different, you know what I mean? Like, hey, you're asking people to work for free, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if he's getting that much trouble. He still posts stuff about sending in like 5-second audio recordings or whatever. So I don't think if there's anything that bad, I don't think it's preventing him from doing his work. Anyway, this game, no.
Yeah.
A good Elijah would know.
Yeah. I really don't know what else they do. Is there going to be a new Assassin's Creed this year, or are we just kind of looking at Hyperscape updates?
Man,
God,
that's I did too. I don't know what to expect for them anymore. It's
well, Just Dance for Wii.
Hope.
Oh, that's yeah.
Maybe another laser tag game.
Oh yeah, that could do it for sure. Well, hey, if Ubisoft lets us down, the good news is we'll only have to wait a day or less than for Xbox and Bethesda. This was announced that June 13th at 1 p.m. an Xbox Bethesda conference, which answers the questions we had of whether or not they split it into two shows or they combine into one. And you know, now we know, and I feel like what will end up happening is Quake will become the default Bethesda only show, and then in a year it'll just be the Xbox showcase, and that'll be that. They show off the announcement. They open it up, or the whatever is Halo. So obviously we're going to see Halo Infinite. But what else are you guys expecting out of Xbox Bethesda?
Of course, Starfield is done and drops the same day, like everyone predicts it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's out June 13th at 2 p.m., right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
Is this isn't our like E3 predictions thing, right?
No. We're going to have those proper, I guess, next week, aren't we?
Oh,
because I feel like I'm about to tap into it.
All right, then let's reel it back in. I guess, like, are there any things that are maybe not like let's not shoot for the moon prediction style, but like, do you expect to see anything Gears related this time around? Do you expect to see, do you expect to see Starfield? Do you expect to see Elder Scrolls 6 at all?
Elder Scrolls, at most, a logo.
Wait,
that one doesn't have a subtitle yet, does it?
I don't think so.
Is there a chance we see Deathloop at this thing?
It better be the last time. If that is the case.
I could see it happening, but
going off next to me. But no, that would be the most bizarre thing, right?
That would be very weird to see a PlayStation exclusive shown off because it's a Bethesda. I don't know. I think what they focus on here is first party stuff that is coming to Game Pass. Right? Yeah. They really love having those events where they can say, and it's coming to Game Pass, and it's coming to Game Pass, and everything we've just shown you is coming to Game Pass.
World premiere.
Yeah. So
yeah, everything that they've like announced 2 years ago or last year or whatever, I just expect to see updates on those.
Yeah. Do you think we see? I hope we see Forza. I'm ready for Forza. I got this. I got the TV. I got the box. Let's do this. Let's give me a nice shiny car game. Anyway, we're starting to scratch up against something here, so we're gonna stop and we'll pick up. We're gonna have proper predictions in a week, so come back for that, and we'll run down what we actually expect out of E3 and I guess Summer Game Fest, and we'll have to iron that out.
Yeah.
Just after the Xbox Bethesda E3, kind of released during that E3 week, is going to be the Resident Evil pack for Dead by Daylight, which is confirmed for June 15th. It's going to include the Nemesis as your killer and 2 new Survivor characters, Leon Kennedy and Jill Valentine. You'll also be able to play on a new map. Takes place inside of Raccoon City's police station. Mark, are you like day one? Is that bang bang?
Probably. I watched Easy Allies do the PTB for it. And it seems pretty cool. I was not expecting Nemesis because I thought they were gonna like, he has weapons, so it's like, how are they going to incorporate that? But he doesn't have a minigun or a flamethrower. It's just his punches, and he has like a tentacle thing that he shoots out of his hand, and and he has zombies.
Oh, that he can kind of like push out from.
They're just randomly on the map, and they can infect you if they scratch you. But they're like his source of power too, in a way. So they're probably going to change that, because you could just easily get rid of them and like just keep Nemesis weak probably the entire time.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Like you can go around and like find vaccines and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It seems cool. Like I watched them play on the RPD map, and it's a pretty true translation.
I saw the character models all look like they do in the latest remake. So does the police station also resemble that?
Yeah, obviously with its DVD touches, but
the
way you navigate throughout the things, most of the doors are broken down and whatnot. But yeah, it's all there. It's pretty cool. Like, you can't go to the 3rd floor, so you can't do the clock tower.
That's okay,
or whatever. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't know. Maybe it was just a perspective, but like when you are lobbying up, the way I looked at it, like Leon either looks really tall or Jill is really short. Like Jill barely came up to Leon's shoulders. It was weird to look at.
Well, I wonder if that's canon. You know what I mean?
Or they took the not the sprite, but the model from Reverse, because they shrunk everyone down.
Yeah, do you think that Reverse is going to eat this game's lunch?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's going to be one hell of a blockbuster.
Like an hour after it's in the toilet.
Yeah. Speaking of toilet, we saw our first look at gameplay for Horizon Forbidden West. I'm just kidding. Horizon 2 Dawn showed off some gameplay for the first time. Matt, you watched this, and it sounds like they're doing some interesting stuff this time around. You can swim.
Sure can. Yeah. You can swim. No, honestly, it's a Horizon game. A couple more bells and whistles. It looks like they are trying to change some things with the human melee combat stuff to make that less generic. I don't know how to. Maybe it plays better than what it looked like, but it looked kind of the same, just with some special powers. The swimming stuff's interesting. I think there's going to be some neat underwater combat scenarios, because I do think you're going to get some weapons underwater, and some neat opportunities with robo dinos underwater as well. Like very much like on land, where you can kind of go into plants that kind of hide. There you can go into like coral little areas and hide. In the gameplay, they show like alligators kind of swimming by, and you hid in the coral. Other things, I don't know. They're gonna go full Assassin's Creed or Breath of the Wild with letting you kind of go, like wherever, climb wherever. But there are going to be these little points on the map that are like highlighted in yellow that you can use like a grappling hook to get to. Underwater, there was like a little like yellow ledge you can use to push off to accelerate your swimming. So it looks like maneuverability is going to be changed in at least that way, if not full-fledged Assassin's Creed or Breath of the Wild. And yeah, they showcased a giant like elephant-looking robot machine thing. And it's the same. It looks to be like the same combat as before, where there's weak spots. There's all kinds of different ways you can take them down. It's like a mini Monster Hunter kind of like thing, where you kind of slowly peel back some of the armor and then use your weaponry to take advantage of what is exposed or whatever. So I don't know. Like I said, it looked like Horizon Zero Dawn, a lot flashier in terms of the graphics and stuff. Obviously, the gameplay looks very similar. It has some interesting looking additions. I don't think it did anything for my excitement for that game in a bad or good way. I'm curious to see if they make their 2021 date.
2021 on PS5, PS4. When does it come to PC?
Oof. How many years did it take Uncharted 4 to get to PC?
Looks like it's gonna be maybe 4 years.
All right,
maybe
4 years.
5 years. I think it was 2016. They announced during an Investor Relations Day presentation at PlayStation. They didn't announce, nor have they confirmed, but on a slide, they kind of listed some games that they're aiming to reach new audiences with. Specifically calling out Days Gone and Uncharted 4 both being on PC, which obviously Days Gone just launched on PC a couple weeks back, but had not heard of Uncharted 4 on there. So that is supposedly coming. Do you think... I don't know. Do you think that there's an audience for that on PC?
No. Days Gone makes a lot of sense. Horizon makes a lot of sense as a brand new franchise, but I don't know. That's a weird release, in my opinion. And it's so late. It's like...
Yeah.
It's not like...
why not start with like a collection?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird one. I mean, sure, whatever, put it, if people... At least now, people don't have to buy a PlayStation to get it. They have a somewhat decent PC, I guess, but... No, it's a weird release. Would recommend. I still don't know.
Like, why not lean into? I was going to call it Gaikai, but why not lean into PlayStation Now? And let people run it through that client. And whatever. If sales on Steam end up making more money than people subbing to PS Now for a month and dropping it, then go for it. But I don't know.
I don't know. Like, will it get a bump in visuals on PC, or are they like? Does it come day and date with like a potential PS5 patch on this game? I don't know. It seems like a very weird game to get that PS5 patch thing, but I don't know. I don't know what they do. This is head scratching in a way.
This is also the studio who is likely remaking The Last of Us Part 1, so trying to figure out why they do anything doesn't really make sense, but. If you're looking for new games, you might be happy to know that 505 Games has quietly announced a sequel to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. Another thing that came out of kind of a investors relations piece. It was another kind of like internal slide deck that was like, Bloodstained is a game we published. The second version is now in development. Like, okay, cool. There you go. So that's due out. I'm excited for that. I really liked that first one, but I think it's. I talked about it when that game came out and I played through it. Like, I feel like Bloodstained suffered from kind of a dependency on the Kickstarter, right? Like, there was so much that they had to do to make sure they fulfilled all that stuff that there were some areas of the castle and some things like that that felt bogged down because of it. And I'm excited to see what they can do with their own money and their own ideas behind it. So, because I like spooky stuff. And I like that Koji Igarashi gets to do spooky stuff still. I also like Goosebumps. And it turns out, so does Mark. You've been playing some of WayForward's Goosebumps, the game.
Yeah. Kind of, it's always been like the back of my mind to like rewatch the 90s series. And I don't know why. Just kind of like what I did with earlier in the year, I was watching all the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror episodes just because. I guess I like to punish myself a little bit. But yeah, so like in correlation with that, I wanted to play a game, and I remember you played a little bit of that game on the Switch, but I saw it was on Steam. I wanted to try it out. That game has some pretty good vibes. I was not expecting it to be like having this level of care put into it. I don't know why I was expecting otherwise. But yeah, it's just for those unaware, it's a point and click game. And I think it's a prequel to the current movies with Jack Black.
That Jack Black run of movies.
It doesn't feel like that at all, though. Like, it doesn't feel like it ties into the movies. It feels like it's separate, which isn't bad. But yeah, like it's like late after school, you're walking home. All of a sudden, your house turns into like this haunted house. But like along the way, just all these weird things are happening, and like I like the game. I appreciate its like exploration. The art style is pretty good. The way that you have to solve some of the puzzles is pretty cool. But man, you can like almost literally pick up anything in that game. Like things that just don't matter. And well, you don't know at first either, right? Because like anything could be a key, you know? But there's so many, like, you can have pages. So every time like you want to try combinations with something, you have to sift through pages to try to like see what works and like what doesn't work. And that can be a little tedious.
Yeah.
And it's cool that like there isn't a specific order to solving things. They kind of give you that freedom to like, there is some like limitations, you know, like, but for the most part, you can kind of choose where you want to explore, and you let you save at any point. So in case you happen to like run into like a dead end of somewhere, or you get into like a trap, or you die somehow, because you can die in a lot of ways. They are pretty forgiving with retrying from like a checkpoint instead of having to load a save, which I mean they're not too different honestly, but you know that's pretty cool. But it does open up, like you don't always have to be in the house, like you can leave it at any point. There's like a mall location, I guess you can go back to the school, but I don't know how much of the school you can explore because I didn't make it that far. So with all that, there are a few times where I had to like look up how to solve a puzzle because I was just getting a little like didn't have much tolerance for some of them, because I think for a game like this and what their demographic that they're trying to aim for, which, you know, children for the most part, this game is kind of brutal in terms of like the way you have to figure things out. Like they don't really give you that many hints. Or if they do, like they're pretty cryptic or vague. Like you really have to think outside the box a couple times to try to solve something. But at the same time, not every puzzle has one solution. You can they give you the obvious way, but if you know a little more about that franchise, you might be able to use certain items that you remember from the books or the show to help you solve things a little quicker or in a different way. And they'll, reward you with like achievements and stuff. Like, because I'm watching the show, I was able to know like how to deal with some of the creatures, because of the context. Without it, I can only imagine how many people have to do process of elimination on like what to do and how to do it. So, like, I guess that's the trade-off, is that it's cool that, like, you can solve some things in different ways, but at the same time, like, they really don't give you hints on a lot of it. You just gotta figure it out. So I guess that's their way of trying to, like, maybe lengthen the time on playing it. That's my guess. So I do like it, overall, but I kind of came into a problem that, I soft locked the game, basically, and it stopped my progress. And I feel like I was either like 3/4 through, like 3/4 through, or like maybe even closer. I feel like I was approaching near the end of the game. But
wow,
I'm not.
Yeah,
certain.
you describing that you're running into recognizable characters. Like, I don't think I had a single one when I did what I played through.
Right, and like. And I think that was just a benefit of me just watching the show, and some of them just like, oh yeah, and like this was the twist in that show. So I had this item, cool. I'll, like, oh cool. That's it was that was fun. But yeah, I feel like if you didn't grow up with the show or read the book, so like if you aren't my age, you might have some trouble knowing that stuff. If you're just like a younger kid getting into it, unless they like still sell Goosebumps books and they resell them, I imagine they do it to some degree. Things get re-released all the time.
I think they're still in publication. I don't know if they're like redoing the old ones or not, or yeah.
It just seems, a lot of it just seems really hard to approach for newcomers. Even though, like, I don't know, it's weird. But, like, I still like it overall. But, yeah, my problem was that I made it to the mall, and there is this robot security guard chasing me. So it's, like, pseudo Five Nights at Freddy's vibes. Because, like, depending on the area that you're in, you can, like, see a silhouette of him, like, in the distance, or, like, a shadow of him nearby. You can hear the noise in the background of him, like, trying to find you. Even though everything's all, like, static images, the sounds go on as if everything is real time. So you'd have to like change screens, because within a certain amount of time he'll just pop up and he'll kill you. So I ran into this like clothing store. It's like kind of like Sears or whatever, and like the exit or / entrance of the store was like the perfume section. But I can't advance any further because this leprechaun popped up named Cronby, or whoever. I think it's Cronby. Like you have to talk to him, you have to pass him first, and he gives you a riddle, and you have to solve this riddle by giving him an item that he's talking about that is in, assuming it's in your inventory. I've been told that he can give random riddles. It's not always the same one, but I think because of where I saved it, I'm guessing that that's not the case for me, because it kept giving me the same riddle. And here's the problem with that. So I mentioned all those items you could get earlier. You can collect so many, go through so many pages. Well, I didn't want to have to do that. So on your way to your house when you're walking in from school, you go through this big pipe, like this big sewer pipe. And there's this hole. There's like this big hole in the side of the pipe. And it's just pitch black. You can jump down, but it'll be a game over, because you're like jumping forever, or like it kills you or something. And then I saw that you can toss items into it. And I'm trying to figure out why is this a thing? Like, is this going to pay off later? Like, is this going to be like Home Alone for Super Nintendo, where you keep dropping things down the chute into the basement until you make a pile of items, and then maybe you'll land on the items, or you can climb the items if you make it down to that sewer part later? I don't know. Maybe there's a monster down there that, like, if you give it enough items, you might get something in return. I have no idea. So I'm just throwing items down there, but it doesn't let me throw away everything. It knows what items are key items. They're like, hey, this looks important, so I think I'll hold on to it. So it lets me keep those. So because of that, I assume everything else is just garbage. So I'm throwing everything else away that it's letting me.
That is a safe assumption, I would think.
Now, in the very beginning of this game, it's giving you like a tutorial on how to like open things, how to interact with objects, pick up items, whatever. So it starts you off in that hallway in the school. You have to go to your locker because your phone is in your locker. You get like a crumpled paper ball as like one of your items. Because you're like, whatever, just take it. So that was one of the things I threw away. Because what am I going to use a crumpled up paper ball for? Oh, well, it turns out that was the answer to the riddle that Cronby gave me. So answer was paper ball, but I threw that shit away like hours ago. So now I can't progress. I can't go through the store to get the other key items because every time I hand him anything else, he bites my face off.
And you can't get the paper ball back, I assume.
No, like unless I'm able to jump back down that hole, which I doubt I am, because I'll just die. I might have to like restart that game and do like a speed run and try to like catch back up to where I was. But I just don't feel like doing that. I'm not in the mood for games right now where it comes to like that level of repetition where like I have to play a big chunk of the game to get to a part, just to make a little bit of progress. So I'll probably come back to it at a later time this year when I'm feeling the mood for that again, for that game specifically. But man, I like the game overall, but stuff like that really sucks.
Yeah, it's a shame. I wonder. I don't know, because they did another one after that, I think, right? There's this. Oh no, the second one. There's a newer Goosebumps game, but it's like a third-person action game or something. Yeah.
There is like a first-person like run away from the creatures like puzzle-solving kind of game.
That's the one I'm thinking.
There was like a mobile game, and they like pseudo ported that, but slightly enhanced it for PC, but it's still like pretty janky.
Yeah. What would be the perfect Goosebumps game?
Dude, make the books Telltale. Just that, just little individual. Each episode can be a book. Play through it.
Yeah.
Done.
I still want that Evil Within style Scooby-Doo game, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Maybe that will be at the Bethesda thing.
Hey, maybe. Hey, all right. Somebody's got to buy WB games. Matt, you've been spending time with monsters this week as well. Although yours don't come from books, they come from...
Before you go on, I was going to say, right now that game is on sale. I don't know if it still will be on sale when this goes live, but right now, $249 on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I think that's about what I paid for it on Switch way back when I got it. I think it's like $3 on Xbox right now, and yeah.
What, Goosebumps?
It's full price on Steam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had money on my Steam wallet because of a refund, so I'm not too bent out of shape about it. But man, $3. It's worth it, dude. Like the atmosphere in that game is so good.
Yeah, and the music. Did you mention that the music is by the Spelunky composer?
Yeah, and Downwell.
Yeah,
like that game. Like if you love like if you're feeling nostalgic for Halloween stuff when you were a kid, like getting those vibes back where it's like gray, windy skies in autumn, and you're just like walking home late from school, and just everything's just super somber and whatever. Like it captures that atmosphere really well.
I agree. Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway.
Matt, you picked up Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD.
Yeah, I think I said last week there was like a 10% chance to be playing it. Well, that increased to like 75% when I watched the launch trailer. What
pushed you over the edge for it?
I think the launch trailer. I think I was going through my ritual of going through IGN, Gematsu, all that stuff, and I think Gematsu had the launch trailer. I was like, let's look at it. And that was like, what the hell's going on in this game? This looks cool. Guitar riffs and everything, and then I ended up buying it that night. Yeah, I'm not gonna say much this week, cause I don't think I have much to say about it right now. I'm only 2 hours in, but it was 2 hours into a PlayStation 2 RPG, so that's nothing in terms of anything. I mean, like the setup for the game, I believe it's Tokyo is the city. It gets swallowed up by a demon world, and very early on there's themes of like the world has to be destroyed for it to be recreated in a better way or whatever. And yeah, like you're like kind of like at the epicenter of where all this is happening. There's an organization that pushed for this to happen that you're investigating. You turn into a little demon boy and are running around a Tokyo that's wrapped around this like it's like a sun star kind of thing, but it has a name and I forget it. Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. I will say it is combat. At least I know that is very turn-based. I do like the system of like who goes next. It's like all the enemies go and then all the players go. There's not a lot of mixing, but like if there's 3 enemy turns because there's 3 creatures or whatever, if someone misses, one of those turns gets taken away. So like say there's 3 attacks from the enemy that are coming. The first one misses, the second one gets skipped, and then the third one goes. So you only have to endure 2 attacks.
That's cool.
And same thing for the player. So if you miss, you whatever. I haven't been critical hit by an enemy yet, but if you critical hit a enemy, you actually get another turn on your side. So there's some cool things they're doing with the turn-based stuff there. But then there's like your magic. It's very traditional turn-based stuff that you expect. Leveling is pretty straightforward. Your side characters level automatically. With your own character, you get to pick between 5 different things: luck, agility, strength, vitality, and magic are the 5 things you kind of put a point in every time you level up. Leveling up is pretty straightforward. Battle, get experience. After so much experience, you get a level. Boom. There's these things you can eat. They look like little... there's a name for them, and of course I forget them, but like you eat them and they give you a buff in some way, and you can go back and forth between them. I have 2 right now. One is to... the one I'm using right now is to buff my strength. I think vitality is the other part of it. I think they go into... I think there's going to be a system with leveling with these things as well, and they might end up cursing you if you push your luck with it too much. That's why I'm going to talk about this more next week when I actually have more of these systems under my belt. But, yeah, I didn't. So that's the whole turn-based thing. I thought that little miss and critical hit system was unique. Also, I think if you hit someone with a weakness, you get a turn as well too. So you can kind of chain a lot of that stuff if you know what you're doing in boss fights and random encounters. And then the other thing
that's a staple. Like if someone's weak to fire and you hit them with fire, and another one of your demons has a fire, or your protagonist character has a fire attack, then you'll kind of all like auto attack with fire, and do extra damage to someone's weakness.
Huh. Yeah. So I think the other thing I was trying to wrap my head around is this is a PS2 RPG. It's HD. The regular in-game stuff looks fine. The cinematics, I don't think they had the opportunity to upgrade the visuals in the cinematics because they still look very PS2. But that's fine. I don't care about that. But when I say like I have to get used to the PS2 era RPG, is like there's no checkpointing. Like your saves are your checkpoints. So if you save, you beat a boss, and you go out into the world and you do a bunch of shit, but then end up dying in that world before you save again. Well, guess what? You're going back and you're beating the boss again and repeating the steps along the way. So, yeah, it's like, that is a thing that has, that's a very PS2, PS1 era RPG. I just have to wrap my head around remembering to save and not getting used to auto saves and checkpointing and things of that nature.
I think it's just a JRPG. Didn't Final Fantasy VII run like that too? Now I'm thinking about it now. Like
they did.
Like, even those modern games like that, like, because I was like, oh, did they fix this with Persona? But, like, no, even Persona 5, like, you fail. You're knocked back to wherever the heck you started, where you physically saved last, It's...
Yeah, so...
And these games are even more brutal in that regard, because there's so many opportunities for you to just get hosed.
Yeah. And then the, that was the other thing. Oh, just, like, the navigation stuff. Like, there's no, like, there's no, like, arrow saying, go here. This is, like, traditional, like, talk to the characters. They mention a town name a couple times. Or, like, you're trying to find your friend. because you think they're still in their human form, so you're trying to find them to protect them. And there's a couple like souls that are floating around in the world that are like, oh, we saw a human running down south to this town, like towards this town. Like I said, I wouldn't have kind of known where to go because there's a whole park area that is before the town. So naturally, you would think you're just going to the next like highlighted area or like area you can go into. But no, like that area, you have nothing. Like you can go in that area and fight demons if you wanted to, but like that area has nothing to do with what that main quest is at the very moment. And you'll quickly find that out. Like that area is kind of useless to you right now. So yeah, it's something. Once I wrap my head around all these systems, I would be more happy to talk about this in more detail. But yeah, no, I'm digging this game. It's weird. It's definitely out of my typical things of playing. But I think after playing Yakuza a few months ago, I think that's kind of opened my brain a little bit more to JRPGs. And I've never played a Shin Megami Tensei game. And Joe, it seems like you enjoy playing yours, so I figured this is the time to try it, and evidently, according to you all, like this is the one, I guess, in terms of Shin Megami Tensei games. So, yeah, I figured why not?
Yeah, I am enjoying the one I've been playing, but I hit a wall where the demons I have in my party, the boss I'm up against, I don't really have the things I need to take this dude down. So it's kind of like, do I want to go back through and grind to try, you know what I mean? And try and find other demons to fuse other demons, or put this down for a little bit. And I really do want to play 3. And hearing you jump in and have a lot of fun with it, I'm like, do I just jump to 3? But like, trying to tap into where I was at last week with it. Like, no, stick with the game, get through the game. But that mentality led me to get back to another game that I stuck with, and now am just about done. I returned to Nier Replicant version 1.224744139, and I finished up ending A, ending B, and ending C. So I need to run back through. Before you get ending C, you can do a save, because it's a choice thing. So you can jump back through and just grab D really quickly. And then E is new to this remake. And E, I think I have some ideas of where it goes. I caught some familiar voice talent names in the credits assigned to question marks. So I feel like I know what's going to happen in ending E. But we'll see. I'm not going to wrap it up later today. I probably no. I mean, I ran out of time this morning before we were recording, but before listeners hear this, I should be done D and E afterward. And yeah, I don't know, man. I really, really like that game. It's a weird thing because you do end up. I think Automata. I think they learned from this game when making Automata, and because you play through and there's multiple endings to that, and I think they learned how to do that a little bit better. Where this one you are replaying the same content with some new cutscenes here and there, and they do add some things that fleshes out some characters, and you get to learn a little bit more about backstories of different folks. But generally speaking, it is that same crux of go get all the Triforce pieces. But one thing I thought was interesting, because I've started to dip my toes a little bit more into some Yoko Taro interviews and things like that as I've gotten further along in this. And there's a GDC talk from a few years back, which I don't recommend watching until you get through this game, because I almost spoiled some stuff for myself. But one of the cool things I thought that he mentioned is, he was talking about the main, the North, he didn't call it the North Plains, but he's very much referring to the North Plains in this game. And I didn't realize it, but he had set out when he was making Nier to make Ocarina of Time, his own version of Ocarina of Time. And he was like, maybe I possibly even timed the time it took you to run across Hyrule Field and made sure that the parameters of this field were exact. He was like kind of joking about it, but like straight up, I mean, that's what this game is. So
Had those vibes the whole time.
Yeah, of course, like you feel that for sure, but you don't really think about it, or you don't know for sure that he did do that, and to hear that he did, and like
plus the protagonist.
Yeah, it's right there. It's all right there. Yeah. So I think that's cool. I think jury's out, right? Like E3 is a couple weeks out, but we still don't know anything about Zelda. I think if you are maybe not super excited about Skyward Sword, or you are very excited and just can't wait, and you're looking for a good Zelda, this is a really good Zelda game that has some different themes that take you different places. It's definitely, it goes into that whole introspective, let's look at humanity in a different light, and what does it mean to enact on the choices we make, et cetera, all that stuff. It's all there.
No, it's just save the damsel.
Yeah, that's all it is. Yeah, so I'm excited to see that to the end. I'm almost there, but already I'm like, it hits you. It hits you in weird ways too. Well, I think it hits everybody differently, but it definitely, man. And the soundtrack is just top notch.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of the square root of 1.5, Mark, you've been hanging out with numbers.
I've been on Sesame Street a couple times. My way around the block.
Yeah. You had a little digital device arrive in the mail after a long wait.
I sure did. Back on my Digimon bullshit. What was it? Not too long ago, I had one of the Digivices from the show. I remember showing that off. But now I have like this new version that they're kind of going with, where it's not based on anything besides like maybe a Fitbit. But yeah, it's called the Vital Bracelet. It has a sensor. It's basically it looks almost exactly like a Fitbit, except a tinier screen probably. But it can check your heart rate. It can it knows when you're moving, knows when you're being active, and most of that is being put. That effort that you're doing is going towards your Digimon. So if you're working out, if you're running, for example, all that hard work that you're doing for yourself will also be helping the Digimon grow and become stronger in certain ways, which I think is pretty neat. I was kind of hoping Pokemon Go would have something like that, where like with all the steps you're taking, instead of just hatching eggs or like getting candies, I thought they could do a little more with it. So I like that this is kind of going in that direction. There's a little incentive to be a little more active if you're not, or even if you are, it still makes it a little more entertaining in a different way. But yeah, like I just got it, so like I'm not too familiar with everything right now. Like before we recorded, it was a little baby that hatched, and then it finally like it digivolved to like another baby-ish form, like toddler level, I guess. So that was cool. I'm wondering how long it takes for it to digivolve again. There is supposed to be a companion app with this you can get for your phone. I know Japan has it for iOS and Android devices. So I guess if I had an account over there, I could probably do it. But I think within like a month, we should have an English one. And that way you can look more into like the stats and everything of your Digimon and kind of get an idea of like what to do from there. But yeah, I so far think it's pretty neat. I like the idea that you don't have to buy constant bracelets for different Digimon. They're now in the form of these little chips called DIM cards, and they're like in a credit card shaped thing, but you can pop them out, and they're like these tiny little chips you put into the bracelet, and that's how you get different Digimon and stuff. Once you put it in there, it's registered to you. You can't like share it with all your friends and whatever.
Okay.
Everyone has to buy their own. And it also comes with a versus chip. So I think you put that in first or something, and you exchange those, I believe, with a friend. So you have each other's versus chips, and you're able to battle your friends that way. And that can also be put towards the stats of your Digimon and making them stronger is by doing battles and stuff. And or you could put your bracelet up to like NFC type machines or whatever. You can find Digimon that way, and it'll battle them.
I think that's super cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
That, and then the app log that you can like look at your battle records and things like that. So Mark, if someone is listening and they want to get this, what's the best way to go about getting one?
Oh, well, that's the part that sucks. So you can probably, if you have a trusted site for importing goods that are able to ship overseas to you, that is one way. The site I did is not great with that right now because of everything that's been going on within the past year or last year, whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe I just ran into like a weird hiccup with that. So I don't exactly recommend that, but that is an option. Another way, which is the way I got this one was I went through Bandai's Premium Bandai website, and
yeah, they're weird though. Like you can't just buy something; you can only pre-order through there.
Right, everything is pre-order only, so you really have to act when you get the chance to. You can't like really wait. I mean, they do give you a window on like how long you have. Like it doesn't have to be within like that second. You have like a good, almost a good month, I think. Depending on the item and its popularity.
True, yes, but like, I will say that the thing you bought is on here. Pre-order started May 20th and they run through September 27th.
Right, but because it gives that window doesn't mean it's still guaranteed because
right, yeah, there's a popularity. Big thing that says like pre-order period for this item may end suddenly despite any previously announced pre-order end date.
Yep, and that's usually the case. So especially with Digimon, so you really do have to act on it, unfortunately. But the other stuff on their site, I think you might be able to get away with not being as rushed about it.
So did you also order the DIM cards?
I did order the DIM cards. English only has one set, so it's 4 DIM cards, and you get them all at once. For those familiar with Digimon, it's you get the 2 like main like character ones from the anime series. So you get like Agumon and Gabumon, and then you get like 2 brand new ones, and each come with their own like areas too. So like on the bracelet, you can choose like different backgrounds for your Digimon, and you have like a couple solid colors of like blue, green, orange, black, and then you have like the actual place that it is residing in. So like the one that comes with all the bracelets, it's called Impulse City. So like that background would be like a typical like cityscape like background. So it's a neat little touch they add to it. But yeah, I did get those. Well, I pre-ordered them. They should be arriving end of June, along with the app release, I believe.
And then I guess my final question: how's battery life on this thing?
Still pretty good. It's still full, and I've had this. I think I turned it on about like a couple hours before we started recording. So I think we're about approaching 4 hours, and I haven't seen a chunk in the battery go down yet.
Okay.
The weirdest thing with this, I have to point out, it comes with this little like USB cable to, I guess, to charge it or whatever. But like, if you can, I mean, listeners won't be able to see this, but this is how short the cable is.
One of those, yeah.
It's like as long as my middle finger.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those 8-bit do controllers that came with stuff like that, which is like
what is the point?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you have some weird setup where that works for you, sure, but that's really short.
Yeah, that is.
But I guess it's cool they incorporated something.
I'm honestly waiting for my black PlayStation controller to come with one of those at this point.
Yeah. Teeny tiny little baby.
Right.
I did want to mention that you did explain that buying process. That's probably still easier than buying a PS5 at the very moment.
That's fair.
Everything just sucks now to buy things.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to a news story we've got later on.
Baseball tickets, you can still get them pretty good.
Yeah. You might be able to buy new video games. But more on that after we take a quick break. When we get back, we've got, surprise, more news. A lot more news. And one more little thing to talk about video game-wise. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Last week, we were expecting an announcement from Sega regarding Virtua Fighter and eSports, and we've learned. On Tuesday, Sega of America announced Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. The game's been remade using Yakuza's engine in partnership with the Yakuza studio as well as AM2. It'll be releasing for PlayStation 4 on June 1st. Which is it's kind of also tying into Sega's 60th anniversary project, they said. I went back and played a little bit of this because I have it on Xbox, that original version. And yeah, they go play this game when it comes out. Tell Sega that we want a new one. And if you're curious, or if you're on the fence, like, I don't know if I'll like it. Well, if you have PlayStation Plus, you can get the game for free. We learned this week that PlayStation Plus is giving away Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown for PS4 in addition to Star Wars Squadrons. And if you have a PS5, you can check out Operation Tango. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fence, if you're still looking for some fighting games to play for free, Xbox has announced June's Games with Gold. They're giving away The King's Bird Shadows Awakening, two Xbox One titles. And I think the King's Bird is maybe optimized for Series S and X. And then down there on the 360 side, you can pick up Neo Geo Battle Coliseum and Injustice Gods Among Us, which knocks two things off my wish list that I don't have to spend money on. Because fun fact about the games with gold, I don't know if you guys know this, but they're 360 yours. Games with gold are just part of your library. Mm-hmm. Even if you got rid of the service, which, it's pretty neat. So you can grab all of those this month and really rank up the fighting games and esports. And if that's not enough for you, and you're a high school student, boy, do I have great news for you. Nintendo and PlayCS have announced a partnership that, this is the craziest news story. Like, of all of the news stories, and we're going to talk about, like, a new Switch here in a couple of minutes. In a couple of ways, we're going to talk about a new Switch. This is the craziest news story I think I've heard in a long time. Nintendo and PlayCS have announced a partnership that will make Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and Splatoon 2 officially recognized varsity athletics at participating high schools. These are going to be added to the lineup for fall 2021's high school season, which will begin on September 20th. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will join the roster for spring 2022 early next year. Students will be able to compete on a regional and national level. This is crazy. Am I wrong? This is absolutely baffling to me.
I want to go back to high school if I can.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
dude.
like, I want to see the yearbooks.
My God. That's the thing, man. Like, they're already doing it, so now, like, legitimize it.
Scholarships
I think
because of this?
Yeah, right? Like, why not?
Well, some colleges already have teams for this stuff, so yeah, you probably get scholarships in some way.
It's super cool. Would you guys have joined a high school competitive video game team?
Absolutely.
For any of these games. For any of these games.
What would have... Okay, so I said... You're saying any of these games, yes. All right, let's do this two ways. Right now, you have a... what's that guy's name? Matthew Perry? You have a Matthew Perry, Zac Efron body switch, and you're back in high school, 17 again. Today. Maybe it's one of these games. Maybe anything today. What would your game be right now that you would want to play for a high school team?
Any game today?
Today. Like a modern competitive video game.
I have two answers. A team-based one, obviously, is Dota.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously. The second one, the condition I would play this, it would have to be a team, but probably Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But I am the ringer for Baby Park. we want home, like if there's like a home field advantage thing, you pick the track. We pick Baby Park, and then they hand me the controller.
That's too wild.
Because I don't lose at Baby Park.
I love the idea of just having like a racing squad and we all have matching jackets. I really love that. If Mario Kart isn't my answer, then Halo.
Ooh, nice. Okay, now let's go back in time a little bit. I know we're all...
Wait, what's yours? Hold on. What's yours?
Oh, today?
Yeah.
Probably Injustice. Like, I feel like I got the best at Injustice. Like, if I feel the most competent about a video game in my prowess, I would say Injustice is probably that.
Ooh, you know what? Maybe Tetris.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty good, too.
Swapping Halo with Tetris.
So, well, let's go the other way. Here you are. It's your sophomore year of high school. You're approaching the summer season. You're about to take a break. And you know that this fall, they're kicking off eSports at your high school. And I'm talking the year 2000 whatever. What would have been your high school game? What would have been the competitive game of your day?
In my sophomore year?
Like, if you found out as you were approaching, sophomore into junior year, hey, I could be on a varsity team to play a competitive video game, what do you think you would have been playing or pushing to play back then?
Either Unreal Tournament or Halo 2.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I don't think... Because even like back then, I was not playing Halo. You guys know my Halo history, so it wouldn't have been that. Although, had that been an option, maybe I would have pursued. You know what I mean? But it probably would have been Melee.
Oh shit! You know what? Yeah, Melee definitely would have been like in every school for sure.
Yeah.
Mario Kart Double Dash.
No, we would have been against each other if it was Double Dash.
No,
once again,
man.
Here's the good news, though. Yeah, because by the time Matt would have been...
Double Dash. We're both on the car. Like...
Oh, that's fair. But by the time Matt would have gotten there, it would have been Mario Kart for Wii.
That's right. That's the problem.
Yeah, you got to think about the age difference.
Right. So we would have never versed each other.
You're lucky.
You and I may have, Mark.
Yeah.
Just consider yourself lucky you didn't run into me Double Dash.
Mark or Matt, what would your high school game have been back then?
I'm looking around at what was 2008.
It probably would have been Halo 3, right?
2008, 2007, probably. Yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if Halo 3 would have been my jam. It would probably have been probably Modern Warfare 2 at a competitive level that way. There. Yeah, because I didn't really get back into NHL until like 10.
Yeah.
Those PS3 games around there. So yeah, it probably would have been a Call of Duty game, and I'm trying to think of like other shooters. I'm trying to think what else I played around that time, but it was probably that.
Oh shit! What year did?
Guitar Hero. Fuck, I forgot about that.
Oh, you're so right, Matt.
Dude,
Battle of the Bands.
Yeah, Guitar Hero definitely would have been.
And I actually went to a tournament for that. But...
Yeah, we used to do stuff at my house for that. Yeah, no, absolutely Guitar Hero.
Matt won.
Man. Do you guys remember when video games were good?
I mean...
Oh, well. Speaking of good video games, Masahiro Sakurai may be retiring soon. During his Famitsu column, director of Super Smash Bros., Masahiro Sakurai shared his thoughts about early retirement from video games. He first shared the idea of ending his column, the weekly Famitsu column, once the DLC for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate wraps up this year at the latest. Then he says that during Golden Week, he spent some time thinking about his life after creating video games and that he has a, quote, certain fondness towards the idea of early retirement. He says everything must come to an end and adds, it's okay to work as hard as I can right now while I can, even if it makes me very busy. But of course, he got super sick last year and stuff from working way too hard. So he says that if he did retire, it wouldn't mean that he would never be involved with video games, but maybe not game director.
He would tone back his work day from 22 hours to maybe 20.
20, yeah, knock it down a little bit, maybe get a couple of hours of sleep. Yeah, so I don't know, man. I'd still like to see what he can do with. He's made a ton of great video games, but seeing the stuff that he did that was not Smash Brothers always intrigued me to see what other possibilities he may have. So
yeah, I want to see other games with a Smash Brothers menu.
Yeah, me too.
No, I mean that guy has every right to retire early. Like, yeah, we're not getting a Fighters Pass 3. Maybe I'm going into E3 prediction territory there with that one. That's not any of mine. Yeah. But if that was anyone else's, I'm sorry. But I do not see a season 3 happening. I mean,
I don't think we need to.
Actually, if anything, I'm going to feel guilty if we do.
Especially if he doesn't stop. If it got to the point where he was like, okay, I'm going to let the team take over now and I'm not going to be whatever, I might check in here and there and do the presentations. Maybe. But no. Yeah.
I kind of hinted at this at the very top of this episode and probably the one from a couple ago. I haven't opened up Smash in a bit. How absurdly big is the character select screen right now?
It is too many, dude. It is. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Compared to other fighting games, it's pretty big.
It's 70 characters, isn't it? 75 or something like that, or almost 80. It's insane. It's nuts.
And it depends if you want to count their color variants are actually other characters instead. Do they count or
color variants? No, but I would say that Samus and Dark Samus are two different, right?
Yeah. I didn't know if each Dragon Quest hero was a different.
I'd call that. I mean, character select screen is still kind of same thing. Speaking of Samus and Smash Brothers, Nintendo announced an in-game event for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, new Spirit event, which is going to highlight franchises celebrating their 35th anniversary this year. Featured in the event are Metroid, The Legend of Zelda, Kid Icarus, Castlevania, and Dragon Quest. And this is, of course, the first time Nintendo has said Metroid or Kid Icarus in the last 56 years. So that's exciting news.
Well, to be fair, it's just Sakurai doing it because Nintendo won't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and you are correct. They have not said the word Metroid because all they did was put up a logo with nothing else.
Yeah, well, poor Kid Icarus over there just, his little wax wings are melting, dude.
I remember Reggie talking about him in the 3DS.
He has a name, damn it, and it's Pit.
No, it's Kid.
You're right.
Kid Icarus. Yeah, Smash Bros. I'm gonna check those out. Those are always fun. I love the little Spirit event things. And I'm I'm looking to celebrate this year some anniversaries. Speaking of which, we've got two to talk about. First the Sonic, then the Dragon Quest. We found out just before Sonic the Hedgehog's 30th anniversary. What do they call it? Sonic Central.
Yes. Yeah,
presentation.
Everyone has a name now.
Yeah, you gotta have one. That actor Roger Craig Smith is back as Sonic the Hedgehog. And then during the announcement, we got a lot of little Sonic news. So I'm gonna run them down, kind of yeah, I'm just going to run down. It's not necessarily in chronological order. You probably watched it yourselves. Everyone out there is big Sonic fans. I think biggest news of the show, Sonic necklaces. So if you'd like to get your bling on, you can go pick up one of these Sonic Ice. You could choose between Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Shadow on their jewel encrusted necklaces. You can pick those up. I will probably have one of each, but you know.
I think my favorite thing to come out of the necklace thing is I saw on Twitter someone photoshopped Adam Sandler's character from
I saw that
movie holding the necklaces. Mark, you may have liked it, and that's why it popped up in my feed or whatever. But yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, that's good. Now, listeners at home can't see it, but Mark has changed his video background to fit Matt's number one announcement of the show, which
Mine
was yeah, this is top notch. The new Olympics game for the 2020 Olympics is going to feature Sonic the Hedgehog, and I know what you're thinking. Oh yeah, I know that Mario and Sonic game that came out, and no. Dear listener, we're talking about the actual human being playable character Olympics game is going to feature a human-sized mascot Sonic the Hedgehog that you can put into different events. You can play soccer as Sonic. You can run as Sonic the mascot. You can do all of these things as Sonic the mascot.
Wait,
and it looks like a bad outtake from WWE 2K20 FCW.
I fucking love it.
It's super good.
Wait, look, I mean, once again, the listener is not going to be able to see this, but like the background with Mark right now is Sonic on the football pitch, but next to another character it has not the same detail at all.
No. The humans in this game are so weird looking. Like, they look like a step above Xbox avatars.
I would say a step down in a different. These are Uncanny Valley weird.
Yeah. You're right. Uncanny Valley for sure.
There's that terrible human texture over there, but then you look at Sonic and you can almost like tell like the fur of like the mascot uniform.
Yeah, where it's been molested and like the fur is matted in different ways.
Oh man, it's so good.
Yeah,
Speaking of molestation, Sonic the Fighters is coming to Lost Judgment, the upcoming Yakuza spin-off game. Lost Judgment, the sequel to Judgment. You'll be able to wander into an arcade and play what Sega calls the classic Sonic the Fighters. And then if having Sonic in the Olympics is not enough for you, you can also have him tell people the results of their CAT scans in 2 Point Hospital. Where you can play as Sonic the Hedgehog wandering around a hospital, or you can outfit your hospital in this hospital sim with statues of Sonic, because nothing would make me happier.
Didn't they have wasn't Tails walking around as well, like Knuckles?
I saw Tails in it. Yeah. So they're gonna do some tie-ins. That is out this summer.
Amy.
You'll be able to get that. The Lost Judgment's out in the fall, September, I believe, and that Olympics game is out this summer. For the actual day and date, 30th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog, June 23rd, you'll be able to attend a live concert. I don't know why. Maybe it was previously meant to be $19.99, but they made a big point to cross that out and say that it is free to attend this digital live concert for Sonic the Hedgehog music. It seems like this is, in vein of what they've done for Nier and Zelda and things in the past where they do these live shows. Final Fantasy had one, so you can check that out. There's going to be updates to Sonic Dash, Sonic Forces, and Sonic Racing for Apple Arcade. All of these mobile titles are going to see different tie-ins or updates. I know that one of them was you can get the Werehog from Sonic Unleashed, soon to be discussed on the Free Cheese Podcast, episode 404. But you'll be able to unlock that around Halloween, since they have a year's worth of tie-ins and things planned for Sonic, which I'm all for. I think between Sonic and the Dragon Quest stuff we're about to talk about, I think that we're seeing some anniversary content that is exciting to me. Let's get to the good meat. They also announced, I'm going to say this and then we'll move on to the good stuff. So Sonic Prime 2022 is a 24-episode Netflix series. We already knew about this, but I think it was kind of leaked at first and then soft confirmed. They actually had people from the show come on to talk a little bit about what they were planning for it. And yeah, it seems intriguing. I will say that I've put on Sonic Boom in the background recently, and then didn't really pay a lot of attention to it, but I was like, man, it's like Sonic Boom walks the line a little bit too close to like, this is a kid's show, or like there's some kids shows where I can watch and I'm like, yeah, it's fine. This one I was like,
it's like the subtlety of some of the one-liners they have is pretty witty.
Yeah, but then there's like the stuff where it's like Sonic, and you're like, I can't.
Well, I mean, they're kids. What do you expect? Come on, true. Kids from Montana.
There's things that can transcend. You know,
don't worry. The show is very self-aware of what kind of show it is.
Yeah. And then we got some video game announcements to talk about. So this one, I believe, this was one of those Korean ratings board leaks. But Sonic Colors Ultimate is releasing September 7th for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Is it also PC?
I think so.
And then this is where Roger Craig Smith comes in. There's some cartoon shorts that are kind of similar to what they did with Team Sonic Racing, but Sonic Colors Ultimate is getting some animated shorts to go along with it. We got to see the first clip from one of those. I'm very excited about about Sonic Colors Ultimate, having never played the original one, and just kind of wanting a new Sonic game in this year. I'm excited about this.
Yes. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off real fast. It is coming to PC, but it's Epic Game Store.
Got it. Copy. Thank you. This is very exciting news. Sonic Origins is scheduled for 2022. It seems to be a single package that's going to include modern versions of Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, as well as Sonic CD. When I say modern versions, I just mean they're playable on modern platforms, and I believe they're going to have some modern sensibilities behind them, like widescreen support, etc. It looks like the art is still the original art. Not a ton of detail on those outside of the fact that they exist and they're coming in 2022, but I'm very excited for those. Especially 3 and Knuckles have been largely ignored. There was like a 360 release at some point, maybe Virtual Console back on the original Wii, and really nothing since. And then there's the big one. There's a new project from the Sonic team scheduled out for 2022. We got a very short teaser trailer that ended in an obscure logo that could say any number of things. Mark, what's your best guess at what that logo says?
What it says? Man. I honestly think it's like half of whatever word that I would know. Okay. But like, what I'm thinking, I mean, it's probably not this, but I think it could be like somebody thought it said the word Zap. Somebody thought it said like ZAO. I didn't exactly. I mean, I can kind of see that, but like I don't know why it would be that. But whatever this is, I think it's going to be like 06, but kind of like what happened with Nier Replicant.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sonic is getting that treatment, but they can't call it 06 anymore. I mean, softly they can't call it that. But so it'll be redone. It'll be made the way that it should have been. Get the proper attention that it deserved, but go under a new name along with it.
I would be disappointed if it weren't a brand new project, but
because
I guess if they did it right,
he does like that dumb loop from a top down view. It
almost
almost looks like a 6.
It very much was a. So then I started thinking like, is this the 6th? Okay, well, is this the 6th 3D Sonic game? You had Adventure 1 and 2, you had 06, you had Unleashed, and, Forces doesn't really count. Like, I wouldn't count that. So maybe this is the 6th one of those.
They also had a minor leak with that video. Like, people could check, like, the files of when it got exported from, like, Adobe whatever.
Oh, jeez.
And, like, similar to Forces, like Forces had a project name before the official name.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was called like Sonic like Wars or something like that.
Okay.
This one had the code name where Sega spoke and said, "Hey, this is actually like an old name. This is a project name. Sonic Rangers."
Interesting.
Which I believe Sonic Team also didn't they work on Burning Rangers?
I do remember. Yeah, I don't know if they worked on it, but I remember Burning Rangers. So
I wonder if there's a weird tie-in there with like gameplay mechanics or something.
Yeah, all in all, I'm intrigued, but yeah, I want to see more of that. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get to see a little bit. What we did see, though, that Sonic looks a little different. Like, he looked like they only showed like his legs and stomach and feet. But
I mean, his legs just look shorter. It still looks
his
like
legs
modern
look shorter,
Sonic.
but his stomach, not that, let's talk about Sonic's stomach here, but his stomach looked a little pudgy. Like, it looked like they're kind of like trying to bridge the gap betwixt modern and classic Sonic. Visually, I don't know. I might be looking into it way too hard.
I'll have to look at it again.
They should just swap out the model for the Tokyo 2020 model that I'm just continuously staring at and laughing.
Then you'd have a video game. That's a video game.
That's a video game I would play.
That's a good belly.
Yeah, that is a good belly.
I hope that comes on Game Pass so I can play that proper.
Yeah. Overall, though, I was very impressed with the... impressed is a strong word. I was happy to see what they were doing. I like that they've got some classic projects, some new projects. They've got a lot of tie-ins to push the character into other spots. And it seems like this is the first of what they're going to announce for this year. So there might be some more stuff to come, too. They talked about some other merch and different things like that. But, yeah.
I'm a little upset for you all that there was no Mania 2.
Yeah, me too.
But I think that's the project you get excited about. Until Sonic Team puts out something that's good, I don't know why you all keep getting excited.
Hope.
I think we just really want him to have a good win. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Mania was your win.
But we don't
a good 3D win.
Yeah, like we want a modern new win without fully relying on nostalgia. Like,
yeah, because Mania tied so much into the old stuff, and I would love for a Mania 2 to be no old stuff, like just new levels. Let that team go wild, and maybe they are doing that, and they're just taking their time with it. But yeah, I do want to see what a good 3D one can look like.
A Sonic game with good camera, like just imagine.
Yeah, let me move that right stick, dude. We also, that was the Sonic 30th anniversary stuff. We had Dragon Quest's 35th anniversary special, which, let me tell you, if you've never heard the Dragon Quest theme song and you wanted to hear it over and over again, just go watch this presentation. I also want to say, I was incredibly impressed with the English translation. So this they did live.
Yeah, she did a good job.
And it was mainly a conversation between a television personality and Yuji Horii, the Dragon Quest creator. And she is live translating in English both men at the same time, and like wild to listen to that. Anyway, there were 6 games announced. Dragon Quest Keshi Keshi, which is like a mobile match 3 kind of puzzler looking thing. Where you're using, I guess Keshi Keshi is like an eraser, or maybe it means to erase. There's little erasers, and as you fill out the puzzles, you erase the monsters from the world. It seems cute. Dragon Quest X version 6.0 and its 10-year anniversary. They very explicitly stated this. There's no plans to bring Dragon Quest X to the West, but they showed that off nonetheless. And then showed off Dragon Quest X Offline, which is a new game. Again, no plans to bring to the West officially. But this is like a chibied version of Dragon Quest X that you do not need to pay the MMO subscription for.
Pocket edition.
One thing to... Huh?
Pocket edition.
Basically, yeah, it very much had those vibes. The one thing that I thought was interesting that John from 84 Play pointed out on the most recent episode is a couple years back when they were asked, will you bring Dragon Quest X to the West? They said no, but if we could do an offline version, we might. Then that's a way we could bring it to the West. So nothing official, but that's, potentially. We had Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, which is the team that made Octopath Traveler. They are now making Dragon Quest III using that engine, which is A, awesome, and B, I'm going to need Square Enix to just get that team to let's do them, man. Let's bring them all. And yes, Mark's wagging the finger. One of the great things about this is that they had 6 announcements for the show. However, Yuji Horii just kept saying stuff, and he wasn't supposed to. So he basically said, we decided to do 3 because that was the one that kind of like kicked off Dragon Quest's popularity in Japan on the Super Famicom. And he was like, but we very much, if this does well, we already plan we're going to do 1 and 2, and we're already working on them. Oh, and then the other guy's like, I don't think you should be saying that. And he was like, oh, am I not supposed to say? And there's a bell ringing or a horn,
a spoiler
horn.
Whistle.
Yeah, like they're flipping out in the background because he just kept saying stuff. So I guess we could also expect Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remakes.
Yeah, like there was I mean, rumors are rumors, right? But
sure.
Apparently there was going around, like, I don't know how Square does their teams and, like, how many people can, like, you know, work on a game or whatever, but apparently there was a rumor about, like if they were to remake Final Fantasy VI, this is how it would be done.
So that's where I'm at. Like, let's, when I saw Octopath Traveler, I said, sick, do it with FF6, and this is, you know, one step closer to that.
We should also remake Final Fantasy VII as well in this style to give it the 4th edition, 3rd remake.
Actually, it would be cool to reimagine that.
Yeah, I think it'd be neat to see 7 with 2D sprites. Do 14 HD 2D.
Whoa.
Let's party.
Whoa.
We got from the team that brought you Dragon Quest Monsters. We now have Dragon Quest Treasures, which features 2 of the characters from Dragon Quest XI as their younger selves traveling to find treasure. This almost looked like Dragon Quest Builders 3 to me at first until they actually started talking about it. And then, of course, we got the logo treatment for Dragon Quest XII, The Flames of Fate. What we know about the Flames of Fate so far is that it is using Unreal Engine 5. We know that I believe everything is like the main story is done and written. They're just refining, and they have a really cool idea for the battle system that Yuji Horii started to go into before they cut him off. But yeah, did they have a release date for this, Mark? No, I didn't write it down. I don't remember.
For 12?
Yeah.
I don't think they gave. Wait, shit. I think they did give a year, didn't they?
I don't know.
I think it was next year, but even if it's not, they plan to be fully like worldwide, like release. Like everybody gets a simultaneous release.
Yes.
Yeah, simultaneous release, no release date discussed.
Okay,
cool. But yeah, overall, again, and so apparently the day before, they also showed off Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest: The Adventure of Dai, which is a tie-in to an old manga.
But current anime.
Yes, which they were kind of like pulled it all forward. Yeah, a lot of Dragon Quest stuff. Is there anything on here that you guys are like, hey, I'm gonna do it? Like, because for me, I think I'm gonna try that 3 HD 2D remake because 3 is always the one that seemed,
Yep, that one
like
for
the
sure.
one.
I bought the mobile version, and now I'm not going to finish it because I'm just going to wait for that one.
Yeah.
This Dragon Quest usually is in that genre. That fantasy genre. I don't pay attention too much. It's never got into it.
That's fair.
Dragon Quest, that is.
Yeah. But slowly, though, we'll see what happens after Shin Megami Tensei 3. You might start.
I think the next fantasy thing is going to be Final Fantasy 15, honestly. So
15?
Wait, which one's coming for PS5?
No. 15. That's the one you want to play.
That'll probably be the next
15.
One. Yeah.
15. That's the one you want to play. You should. You know what? You can maybe play 15 this week.
What?
15 is the one with Noctis. You're thinking of 16.
Oh. Yeah, okay. 16.
I was trying to trick you into playing FF15.
I wouldn't have accidentally launched that. I'm not a fucking idiot.
What if you accidentally played a 45-hour game?
Oh my god.
Is that how... How would that even happen?
Just a prank, bro. Oh, man.
Duct tapes on my TV right where the avatar for 15 is, just writing the symbol for 16. Is that?
Oh, my God. That's so good.
Wait, where's that Chris Redfield at? Oh, I thought his name's Noctis.
Yeah, that's the one. It's just Noctis. Dragon Quest XII, one of the first games we've really heard about using Unreal Engine 5, and we learned this week that Unreal Engine 5 is now in early access. Available via the Epic Games launcher. The new build of the upcoming engine is going to let you explore key features of the new engine, including a new lighting engine, geometry system, animation tools, and tools that will help creators ease the creation of open worlds. Seems cool. I'm excited to see some games. I think we should start seeing games ship with that by late this year, right? Isn't that the goal?
I guess.
I mean, from the way that they've been pushing things out, it seems like they're pretty along the way. I can't imagine that being next year.
Yeah. So we will see on that one. Speaking of technology, a game that was previously only ever made possible by the power behind Google Stadia has now released for other platforms. Super Bomberman R Online dropped on Thursday for all platforms, and I gave it a shot. Did you guys check this out yet?
I forgot it came out. I want to try it, though.
No, I didn't realize it was just like a pure online thing. I don't know why. I'm used to the one I got for Switch. That was like a launch title and just kind of...
So it is very similar to that down to a lot of things, except what if it's a battle royale? It's cool. Like if you remember playing multiplayer Bomberman, you're just trying to knock each other out. You each have 3 lives. Once you lose all of your lives, you're obviously out. But the cool thing about this, because it's a battle royale, is you're playing on 16 4-player grids, right? So you have, just like traditional Bomberman, one person in each corner of your grid. You have to see if you can knock everybody out. And then in between rounds, as the things are counting down, some of those grids will fall off the map, and you need to quickly move to another one. And, so on and so forth. You do that all the way down to the end. It's fun. I mean, if you like Bomberman, I think it's a really neat way to experience Bomberman. The one thing that I don't like about it is load times. So maybe that is the benefit of playing on Stadia, but also it's cross-platform now, so that might... I wonder if I played on just Xbox, if it would reduce that at all, but...
Yeah, where did you play it? What, on your Series X?
Yes, I played on Series X. As I was launching in... So it said... As you go to play online, it says this will connect to players from other platforms. Is this okay? Yes or no? And okay. I always hit yes. I wonder if I said no, if it would still let me connect, but I don't know. They have a starter pass and a battle pass. I don't know what the difference is between either. You can unlock stuff like background music or different color bombs, or it's a lot of cosmetic stuff. It seems like they're doing a thing where you can earn in-game currency and then apply that to buy skins, and they have a promotional skin that rotates. Right now, it is one Solidus Snake.
Solidus or Solid?
Just Solid.
All right.
I didn't mean to get your hopes up. Sorry.
I mean, Solidus Snake was awful, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to... Sorry. It's cool. It's free to play, so check it out and try it. But, I don't know. I don't know. The load times were the part that sucked for me. I was like, maybe I just go play the other one because it's probably faster. I also don't know how we would play together cross-platform. Like, I don't know how to party up or if you can. There's like ways to do private matches with your friends, but I don't know that you can do like the battle royale stuff with your friends. So,
is there like team-based stuff in this?
I didn't really check to see, so I
might
don't
not
think
let you.
there. Yeah, I don't think you can.
You could potentially team up, and that would be a form of cheating.
Yeah. Valve might be cheating. The system, that is, as they get everybody excited for a brand new Switch-like portable PC This report comes by way of Ars Technica this week, stating that Valve is planning to release this thing that is designed to run games via Linux. It could launch by the end of the year, and multiple sources have confirmed to Ars Technica that the hardware has been in development for some time. This week, Valve has included code for the latest version of Steam that hints at the project. Steam database operator Pavbel Jendik spotted a change in the code, which pointed to a new device called SteamPal. This naming convention, the code there was previously tied to something that was showing up in the code last September, referring to a device called the Neptune. In the text back then, the string referred to Neptune-optimized games. So, yeah, man, Valve's about to make a Sega Nomad, which is pretty cool. Does this thing excite you guys at all?
I mean,
I have a very quick head no from Matt.
Well, like a portable PC that only does Steam games, although maybe you can just hit their equivalent of circle button, just back out to your main menu and install whatever you want. I don't know, but like, one, I don't know, it's just a weird market to try to get into, and two, remember the Steam Machine and how awful of a concept that ended up being with having to partner with Alien, was it Alienware? Is that it?
Alienware.
Yeah, like your partnerships with that, and there was like 30,000 different SKUs, and now that quickly just fell off. So Valve and hardware, besides the VR stuff, that seems to have stuck. Not great. Because don't forget
Mark,
that.
what do you think?
Don't forget that awful controller as well.
Hey, come on.
It's not for me. I think it'd also be it'd be a disservice to my PC, I feel.
Sure.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't know how me personally, I don't know how I could benefit from that unless I just didn't feel like getting up out of my bed. I think that's the only thing for me.
I'm intrigued by it.
Or hey, poop games are on a whole new level at that point.
Right. Yeah, then you have no limit. Yeah, it seems like a weird thing, but also I feel like the Switch has taken, a lot of the indie stuff from Steam. So this is maybe a way to try to win that back a little bit.
And like, how would voice chat work? Like, you can't use Discord probably with that, right?
Is there a Linux version of Discord? Well, they have that native Steam chat.
Yeah, but nobody uses that.
Maybe you'd have to. I don't know. I think that they could do some interesting things with something like this. And I don't know. I mean, if they put this thing out for a reasonable price and then boom, here's this library. I mean, the downside is Linux, and not every game is immediately coming to Linux. So I think Steam would have to do, or Valve rather, would have to do some work to make sure that more developers are porting to Linux.
And I think that's another issue, right? Like, one of the things, especially now in the last couple of years since like Epic has stepped into the arena, like one of the services of having a PC, like, yeah, it's a disadvantage because you have 30,000 different launchers, but like this thing might only be able to run Steam, and you might not have access to some popular PC games, like your Sonic Colors Ultimate Edition, or
Sure.
Call of Duty, or anything from Blizzard. Like, like when you think PC, some of those things are very apparent, but they're also in other launchers. So that could pose an issue. As like I said, it's a weird thing. If you're able to download all that stuff and it's like a PC on the go, I think there's a better chance of it working. But if it's just a Steam thing, it's weird. It's a weird thing.
All right, let me ask you this. There's we've got the Valve Nomad coming out, and to make sure that people care about it, much like they made people care about the virtual reality headset, which Valve game ships with this?
Probably like some Orange Box equivalent.
Oh, you think a best of okay.
Get your Half-Life 2 in there. Get your Team Fortress, maybe. Portal.
Fair.
I don't know. I'm not even seeing it like that. I'm just seeing it as like I'm seeing this thing more as like the remote-in thing more than it's like own machine. Like, I don't think it ships with anything.
Well, but so think about it this way though. Like, Matt, you were not that you were anti VR, but when they said Half-Life 3 is coming there, did it give you any like, oh, should I get one? And if so, what's the game for this that makes you go, man, I'd like to play that?
I don't know. I mean, Half-Life doesn't do it for me, but I guess Portal would, right?
Portal 3 Nomad?
Sure. But that's the thing, like, if you're making Portal 3 for that, I don't think you're making it exclusive for that. I think it's just coming to PC anyway.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, yeah, that's just a weird... I think it's going to be a weird niche product.
It gets bundled with a Steam gift card.
Hey, there you go.
For the amount for a Steam controller.
Oh, man.
That they no longer sell.
Who says the controller's dead? Maybe it's being reincarnated into this thing.
Oh, yeah. You think those little touchpads aren't going to be on this thing?
They're Steam cons. That's what they're going to be called.
Yeah. Yes. Hopefully Nintendo fixed the Joy-Con stuff. I noticed in the last couple of weeks I was playing Super Mario Galaxy in that collection with Joy-Con. And yeah, dude, Mario just wanders. I had never noticed how the Joy-Con drift stuff that much. Because primarily my Switch I play with the Pro Controller, but playing it with that, like, oh yeah, dude, he's a wanderer. And do you guys think that they will fix that in this new Switch model?
Oh boy.
No,
No is the answer to that. No, they're not. It's not a controller thing. I think it's a joystick thing.
I got a no from Matt and I got a yes from Mark.
Well,
why do you think so, Mark?
I was going to say yes, but at the cost of having another issue instead. It's going to be a monkey's paw situation.
A trade-off, yeah.
Like, they might fix that, but now every screen's going to have like 3 dead pixels in it.
Yeah. I think it is fixed. I think the problem is that they want to make it still compatible with everything else. So all of your old ones that are malfunctioning, there's no point in using them for the new one because they've got drift and, whatever. Anyway, that is all to say that Takashi Mochizuki and Deborah Wu of Bloomberg shared news on Thursday that a new Nintendo Switch is planned to be announced ahead of E3, then released in September or October. Not the first time that we've heard this from Bloomberg, not the first time we've heard it this year from Bloomberg. It seems strange considering the amount of news stories we're hearing regarding chip shortages and production lines being softened, etc. That they're, not getting what they used to get, but Nintendo full steam ahead on this.
That's because these are all cardboard.
Now that is a product to get behind. This is reportedly going to replace the current Nintendo Switch. So the Switch Lite will remain at its $199 price point. This will phase out the current Nintendo Switch, which is currently priced at $299, and this is expected to be at a higher price than that. My question to you guys is, are we going to see Danny and Scott in line when we go to get ours this fall? I figured it out.
Are we going to be able to go into a Best Buy to get one?
I think we might be able to go to a Best Buy and get one. At least, I think we might get lucky the same way that we got lucky that first night of getting it with the original Switch. And I think what we do is we get shirts made up of Danny and Scott's me's and say, will you be me friend? And then we'll look for them in line and see if we find them.
I like that strategy, but part of me wants to go to the party in the back. It's not like they were like chugging beers and breaking bottles.
They had to because they knew they weren't going to get a Switch.
Or they were prepping to get one, if you know what I mean.
No, they got one. I know they got one because that's how I got mine.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Well,
Debunked.
Yeah, I'm excited about this, but I'm like tentatively excited because how much of a pain in the butt it's been to get those other consoles. what does this actually look like production-wise and release-wise? And I hope that I can get one because I want one very badly.
I think the Bloomberg article, I can't remember if Bloomberg or Eurogamer, because Eurogamer came out with an article about this not too long after Bloomberg.
Yeah, it was like corroborating the story there.
I think Bloomberg was the one that Nintendo's probably gonna be better positioned for the for resources, because they're not like PS5 and Xbox's architecture are so similar that they're competing for each other in the manufacturer chain.
Sure.
Nintendo is, I mean, they're obviously like, you know, they're in the console market, but like their chipset and stuff is not as powerful, so they are not going to be competing directly against Xbox and PlayStation for some of this equipment. So on the supply chain, they're going to probably have more material ready to go.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, I think it's still going to be a nightmare, but I think it's going to be a little bit better than the PlayStation and Xbox stuff.
No, especially when you have to build it yourself. Oh my god.
So I think if this is to be believed, then we should hear about this thing probably this week, maybe even later today. What do you guys think they're going to call it? We've been talking about this offline a whole bunch in our text thread. Besides the Switch and
Switch.
Yeah. What do you guys think they're actually going to call this thing?
I'm going to live and die on the mountain of my prediction. The Switch Advance.
I dig it. I like that a lot. Mark, what do you think? Nintendo Switch Color?
Ooh, the color.
Yeah.
Ooh. Translucent, baby. Atomic purple.
Oh my god.
Always gonna root for that.
Yeah, me too.
Careful, you almost punched a hole in Sonic's head there.
I know.
Yeah,
I have, like, my weird neon sign appears in the background. Whenever I do that,
it comes right up. Yeah, what if it's something lame like Nintendo Switch 2021? Just start giving it a year.
That's fine as long as they don't go the DS route. Me being confused of which one I have.
Yeah,
DS was pretty bad.
Yeah, by the time you got one, Matt, the new Nintendo 2DS XL. Like, what? Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully soon we'll find out. Because I was worried about this next game, Pokemon Legends Arceus. We got a release date for that this week, January 28th, 2022. I was worried about that one because I did not know how that was going to run on a current model Switch. But hey, a new Switch, I think that game will run just fine. Maybe even Breath of the Wild 2. We also found out that the remakes of Pokemon Diamond and Pokemon Pearl, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, due out November 19th. You guys think that's the big fall release for Nintendo? Is these old remakes?
I hope not.
Me too.
That compared to what else would come out around holiday, that's pretty weak.
Yeah, that would be a bad one.
No, I think I still think, wasn't that my prediction? I don't remember, but I think
Breath
of the Wild 2 this year.
Yeah,
I think,
and plus it makes sense to show off a new Switch before E3 because probably all those games are going to be running on a new Switch.
That's what
they have to
That's what Bloomberg said in that article. They're going to talk about it now before, so that way all the games they can.
So yeah, I mean, I think the stars are lining up for you there with Breath of the Wild.
I sure hope so. The release date of Skyward Sword has me worried about Breath of the Wild releasing this year.
To like not have too many Zeldas in.
Yeah, like had they put out that Breath or the Twilight, what the heck, Skyward Sword, had they put that out back in February right after the Direct and been like, yo, here it is, get excited, then maybe. But the fact that this is July.
Well, you know what? We got Mario 3D All-Stars and we got 3D World plus Bowser's Fury.
All right, fair point. Yeah, they were only 4 months apart, so that's...
Yeah, I was going to say, I think if anything, the fact that it's coming out in the middle of summer, it's actually encouraging for Breath of the Wild, because haven't like the last couple Zeldas come out around the same time? You had the one...
Every Zelda is always November.
Yeah, so 2 years ago
Except
was
Breath of the Wild, I should
Link's
say
Awakening, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess Link's Awakening was September. All right, they're making a fool of me here. But yeah, typically a big console Zelda like that is a November release. Because it's usually you get ready to play it at Thanksgiving.
Yeah, so I think it could still fall into that. Like, I think they've had a plan to release a Zelda around that time every year, and then this year is Breath of the Wild 2. I still think it's coming. I mean, even Microsoft thought it was coming based off of those court documents from the Epic and Apple lawsuit thing.
Right. Well, we shall see. Yeah, this next couple weeks is going to be interesting. Maybe we'll find out about that Switch this week. I can tell you that next week, you're going to find out about our predictions for what we think is going to happen at Electronic 3.
I missed this a lot.
Very excited about this. I already have a bunch written. So now it's just about like writing a couple more, paring them all down.
I
haven't begun yet, but I have to then. I will make 20 predictions and then figure out a way to funnel them all into 5.
Yeah,
the Matt way.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for Nintendo Switch news. Before we go, I've been forgetting to do this. What are you guys planning on playing this week?
I will keep my head in the real world, so that way I can see a new Switch get revealed. But other than that, I'm probably going to be hanging out in Demon Tokyo in one Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne.
That's the one. Nice. Mark?
I always never know. I mean, I was playing Plants vs. Zombies for a little bit, just because.
OG or one of those like Battle Royale ones? Well, not
OG.
Battle Royale, but the multiplayer ones. Right.
I never played any of the other ones.
What's it, Garden Warfare or something like that?
Yeah, isn't there a sequel to this one too, though?
Yeah, there's Garden Warfare 1 and 2, and then there's OG.
And like
Plants
for some reason,
the second one was the free-to-play one. After didn't EA acquire them?
Yeah. That was when it got gnarly.
Weird. Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like I've been staring at The Walking Dead, the Telltale Definitive version.
All right.
Because I've always wanted to finish that. I've only ever done season 1, and then cried like a baby, and then never moved on. But I would like to see that through. I just gotta find that mood. I don't know. I'm in a weird point and clicky phase now, so it's like Goosebumps. I'm still a little upset with, so I might spend that time with Walking Dead. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna make Matt upset with something and play some Sonic Unleashed this week. There's a sale happening. It's still happening, I think, by the time you're listening to this. You can pick up Sonic Unleashed. I might double dip and grab Sonic Mania on Xbox just to run through that again.
No, I grabbed it on Steam.
Yeah, it's $10 right now, and I thought about like maybe doing that. I beat Sonic CD in the last like week or two. I'm slowly like trying to fill the gap on Sonic games I haven't finished. So
when you play Sonic Unleashed, when you turn into a werehog, fall to your death. Listen to him scream.
Okay.
It is insane how dramatic that scream is.
All right, yeah, I'm excited to do that. I'm gonna wrap up near like literally after this. I'm gonna go eat and then finish near, and I'll probably play some Sonic today, hopefully. Other than that, who knows? I don't know. Still poking away at that Strange Journey Redux. I don't know, but I gotta get my chisel out, start making some predictions for next week. So until then, you can find all of our episodes maybe on the Apple Podcast app, as long as this is updating the way we expect it to. You can go to thefreecheese.com, check out some stuff we've got going on there. Occasionally, you can follow everybody on Twitter. The Free Cheese is at SomeFreeCheese. Matt is at MattyIce131. Mark is at Og_Mental. Podcast at thefreecheese.com is an email address. You can send us your E3 predictions. Get your E3 predictions in before next week, and we'll read them on the air with ours. That's it. Let us know what you think. Tell a friend about the show. And you know what? I haven't said this one in like years. Why don't you rate and review on iTunes? If you made it this far into the show and you're hearing us say this, go to iTunes, or iTunes doesn't exist anymore. Go open the podcast app, rate us, review us, let us know what you like and don't like, tell people about it, let people know the show exists, and that they're about to step into the best, one of the best parts of the show every year with our E3 predictions. That's it. We'll be back next week with another episode. Until then, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, listener, for listening. Bye.